goth girls, here they are.
Now, this is, you see the amount of marketing the Blizzard have got for free. Do you remember the Solemn Watchman's garb? I think that probably earned about £3. This has certainly earned more.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
$30. Yeah.
Yeah, you can count. That's $210.
$210.
Yeah.
There it is.
Unless it's all, no, I'm not upset. Unless only one person has it or no people has it because they're usually narcissists.
Jokes on them. Yeah. They're in California. Go to was it Sweet Green? Order a salad. Salad costs $500.
Yeah. No, I'm just sat here thinking, Blizzard just like, can I have that? Can we post that picture on Twitter or Facebook or anywhere, please? Can we put that on, those ads like in a subway? With the
you have like some K-pop concert and then beside it it's just play World of Warcraft. Yeah. They're going to be so confused. They're like, play WoW because of this, and they just see like, what was this big sweaty orc? What's happening? I'm confused. I thought this was like an idle game.
Yeah, no, false advertising for sure. I mean, that's the thing where if you wanted to make money, this is the kind of thing you would lean into, almost certainly. And it kind of sucks, but it is where monoculture of being online is kind of leaning a little bit.
Yeah, and I guess that's why like it's interesting to talk about that cohesion thing.
Yeah.
Because it certainly does go down, but you can see how like, the Solemn Watchman's garb, no one's going to buy that. Right? Like, people are going to buy that. Because it's like tapping into a bit of a subculture. I suppose for Blizzard then, it's, I think, ideally more about making a Warcraft thing inspired by something else, but really trying to keep it as Warcrafty as they can.
Yeah, that's where this isn't too bad, all things considered, I actually think. But they should make machinima videos of main story characters in these outfits to sell them more. You're a fucking genius, Derek. That is.
Yeah.
You throw up some goofy ass video to the Twitter thing, and it's just, as you said, Sylvanas or Jaina wearing those. I feel like half the creative director and all of the team would have fucking meltdowns over it, going, "What are you doing?
Yeah,
don't do that. That's a hard. No, don't please." But then they would make a load of money.
Sort of.
Yeah, Sally in that. Yeah, 100%. People fuck put mine down.
I mean, I then say, and smash cut to Frank Reynolds hanging himself.
Of course,
that one amazing gif, and that's how I feel. But
yeah.
There is no artistic integrity in things anymore. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no artistic integrity in things as a whole. There is only artistic integrity in the bits.
Well, that's because that's because artists can only make bits anymore, because artists can't make wholes because holes are too big. They're far too They're far too complete. They're far too massive there's a 500 person dev team. How are you supposed to do that?
Yeah, people keep on wondering, like, why did Blizzard just not make Pal World instead of spending, years and years? And the answer is because they're Blizzard, so that's the scale of, like, game and problem that they tackle. That's just the way that it is. But it certainly is worth thinking about. It's like, why does Blizzard simply not make 15 Valheims? You're like, oh, there's a reason.
Yeah, that's very, very good. Very smart. Glitch. I don't know. Go have a cold shower, Glitch. Yeah, I think. It is kind of weird, that like almost monoculture kind of vibe, especially when you look at this and you go, well, obviously there's like there's sex appeal in this, but there's also like female empowerment kind of stuff, elements to it as well, where they're like, this looks cool as fuck, I'll wear this. So it's not like, horrible in one capacity. It's literally, everyone just thinks this is cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Everyone really likes this. Everything, this is absolutely wonderful. And then it's what it is. It's what it is. And it's like, I'm a little biased because I like saying a lot of everyone, not literally everyone. Speaking of generalizations here, come on. But like, I'm biased because I like this aesthetic and I enjoy the kind of things like this.
See, by virtue of having watched anime in the past, you're actually a preemptive zoomer.
Fuck off.
I've killed him. Yeah. I finally defeated Matt. Yes.
Yeah, so like I think there's it's too late to have a problem with this or rage at in any capacity, I think.
Oh yeah.
But we are boiled down to that where people want the individual good experience, not the overarching, like, here's the artistic piece of work, which is kind of the problem. It's a little bit kind of problem. Yeah, 404 format. Yeah, I'm 404ing because it is genuinely a pretty difficult thing to be able to manage the complexity of this in its totality, especially when you're like as biased as I am towards the aesthetic, to go, I like this, but I know there's things wrong with it. How do I parse there's things wrong with it? But how do you say, well, there's something wrong with it, but everyone likes it? Or like, well, how much is everyone likes it, but it's wrong?
No, that describes everything. There's something wrong with Doritos. Everyone loves Doritos. There you go. Done. It's basically, right. It's the thing that I think conceptually is one of the most important things for everyone to understand, kind of really regardless of whatever, sort of system, you think we should all be living in, but it is externalities. So the point is, personal. It's like, hey, I also think that looks cool. So everyone's like thumbs up, but then you run that process for X amount of years and all of those little, this is really cool. And someone in the corner is like, this does not look like my World of Warcraft. But you run that for like 10 years, and then suddenly you're like, why is John Wick killing the ghost of Grom Hellscream? Why is Alan Wake pointing a torch at Amenthul? What's going on? Why is Tim Sweeney in World of Warcraft? Help. So that's like the thing, right? So a good example, you take a look at stuff with Fortnite. Fortnite it had its big peak, and then one of the ways that Fortnite has kind of actually made itself relevant again, I mean, it's always been relevant, but sort of crawled back upwards, was all these brand collabs, and that's just worked super, super well. Even the Stanley Cups. I only recently found out that Zoomers are really into Stanley Cups.
Oh, the lead poisoning cups, yeah.
I don't get it. Like, whatever. I mean, this isn't one. It's just, there's nothing in it. Great, that was awkward.
There isn't lead in it, so you're winning.
What is
Apparently that's the thing. I don't know. I can't verify this because I just see things on Twitter all the time and I don't know if anything's real anymore. So I could be a victim of dead internet theory and actually nothing's happening outside of like a 5 mile radius. But
so the thing with the Stanley Cups, was it the Crocs person? One of the people who was like kind of responsible for a lot of the viral marketing success of Crocs and all of the Crocs collabs to the Zoomers, was like also doing the same thing for the Stanley Cups. And that is what's going on in Fortnite. That's what's going on in Call of Duty. That's what's, slowly kind of encroaching everywhere. And to be honest, it's why like I definitely have this grumpy old man anti-Zoomer thing in me, because I do look at the Zoomers and like a lot of the Zoomer fashion. And in my head, it's like, okay, you're all dressed like children and you're all wearing brands. You're walking billboard people. And that, I think, like, to me, that kind of gives me the willies a bit. Or like people are like, oh my God, look at these Crocs of brand X brand. And I start to just think like, actually, there's one word that appears, consume.
It's just consume. But it's consume, because you think consume and it's like, I guess it's the nerd crew consume.
Oh, yes.
It's the consume product and get excited for next product, as opposed to pure consumption for the sake of it. It's like, it's not people are gorging themselves on whatever they can get.
Gorging themselves on Crocs.
Yeah, I mean, like that.
No, there's some motherfucker who just has an entire walk-in closet of Crocs.
Oh, there definitely is. But like, that's almost how things, the boomer said whilst often wearing video game nerd movie shirts. Okay. Yeah. That's exactly the thing, right? Where you could argue that it's vaguely similar. You could argue that it's similar, and it is, in fact, a number of ways similar. But
I mean, that's the whole point of the nerd crew. The nerd crew aren't Zoomers. The nerd crew are the generation of that beforehand. They're the man children. Like that, the whole point of the nerd crew is it's taking the piss out of man children.
Yeah. So the thing that's actually different about this, I think, is, and I have thought about this quite a lot, by the way, and it is kind of like, it's about attached personal meaning and things like that a lot of the time, where I won't wear a thing that I don't give a shit about, that it's just a brand or whatever. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. A substantial amount of it ends up being about either personal connection, or in a lot of cases, it's about signaling member of subculture or cult or whatever it is. It's, look at what I'm wearing. I'm wearing this thing, and this is sometimes self-expression, sometimes self-advertisement in a way. But that's when it comes to, you're wearing things that you like. It's like, I like the thing. I wear the thing. I feel good liking the thing. And I think that's where I think you look at, like, the Star Wars shirt is a good example, where it's not the same as paying a shit ton of money for some sort of fashion brand thing. It's similar in concept, but it's very different, and there's an awful lot of that can be applied to personal meaning and things like that. Instead, when it comes to like things you enjoy, I think it's like the whole thing about, you go, well, movies and video games, etc. It has been profoundly perverted, right? But they are art, or were supposed to be for a long period of time. And was supposed to be, well, that is what gives, the actual, it doesn't give life meaning, but it gives it things in the middle of it to enjoy. It puts a lot of flavor and character into it, so it's fine for people to be fans of things and to want to represent and to want to find other people who fall under the same category and like the same things. That's fine. There's no problem with being an otaku or whatever equivalent you want.
Black Wolves just said it's like Goku wearing Supreme, and the Zoomers call it drip.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when I found out what drip was. I still don't understand what drip is. Apparently some people have it and other people don't.
Yeah, it is. I always see the Goku Supreme stuff as like a hyper parody in a bunch of ways, but obviously in any parody there's an element of truth. And that's where you find like, it's meaningless brand identity. It's meaningless stuff that's like, it has no inherent meaning. It's all, wool pulled over people's eyes in terms of what things are for, what it means.
I think a little bit of a difference, though, is the amount of hyper-targeting and, how would you put it? It's the sophistication of modern means.
Yeah.
That is, I think, what is essentially superpowered all of this compared to the past in terms of, like, influencer marketing, where people, they end up finding their sort of niche micro celebrity who's like, likes their thing exactly. So then you can just see how everything is so much more targeted, so much more, there's so much more engagement. And obviously, like, limited drops of things, those have been a thing for a while, but with the power of, like, the social media driven marketing and all of that, this sort of like limited drop culture is like way, way, way stronger. And I just think it's interesting as we see this pervade, everything else. And I think this is almost an example of that in the same way, like, what are they called? Something Seraphim? Is it Lee Seraphim?
Oh, the Seraphim, yeah. Is that a K-pop group?
It's a K-pop. Yeah, it's a K-pop.
Yeah. $400 billion, I'm sure, of ticket sales every 4 seconds.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know. I just think it's fascinating how just modern, patterns. KDA, I own that skin.
Yeah, and that was one of like
no!
Riot's.
I've been.
Yeah, that's one of Riot's
like the opening of the Hitchhiker's Guide, where somebody like logics God into not existing. Where he's like, yeah, God, well, if you require faith to exist, but I'm talking to you so I know you exist, therefore I don't need faith, ergo you don't exist anymore. And then, like, God just disappears in a poof of logic, which I think is very much, apparently, that's very much me being like, old grumpy man, I have a Kaiser skin.
So you do. I think that's an F on YouTube's end, unfortunately. They got us.
They got us.
We're talking too real.
The feds are finally onto us.
Okay, we're back, saved.
We're so back.
Saved. I love the time lag. It's very enjoyable seeing people like, yes, oh no, yes, F. So yeah, I guess we're a little bit back.
Lost that KDA got back at old grumpy man. Hell yeah.
You can imagine what was in the middle there. We don't need to go through that again. So yeah,
look, it's the sort of thing. I think it's interesting. Done well. I think it, stuff's fine. It's like, this is all voluntary, but I'm just waiting for, like, Or here's the thing. Let's just say there was the Rolling Stones. Fuck, I'm such an old man. Rolling Stones X Monster Energy limited drop. I'm like, is that a Monster Energy Ultra with a big tongue on it? Give me that shit. I'd probably do it.
Fantastic.
It works.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, yeah. Oh, well, it's okay because I didn't buy the Final Fantasy VII Super Noodles, so I'm okay.
Final Fantasy Super Noodles.
Right. Actually, I did I tell the story before? It's not really much of a story, right? But I remember it was when the first FF7 remake was coming out. I remember I stopped and had a moment when I saw Cloud and Tifa on some fucking Super Noodles in a Tesco. I was just like, man.
My people have become too powerful.
Yeah, I was like, man, I think we may have won. What am I doing seeing these fucking JRPG characters in the shop? Cool, okay. And then I didn't go, well, I must now buy Super Noodles. I just went, oh, okay, Square Enix, fair enough. That'll do. That's okay.
Yeah.
Are you telling me you wouldn't buy a Pepsi Max offhand transmog? I fucking without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Definitely.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
So, there you have it. It's all very interesting.
Yeah. All a lot of talk about some Zentai Ryuiki.
Yes.
Absolute territory. Thigh highs that are certain height. But yes.
Oh, Zorbix just tweeted a winking face gif.
Stop it.
No.
Right, end stream. We don't have to do it.
Back in the dirt, you turnip. I think Zorbix is a turnip. Oh, no.
Sad thing that says the one in the middle is hot. Yeah, you're right. All right.
Oh, no. Is it happening? So I guess it's just like, it's the thing about like stuff and spaces. And I guess that's the thing that's like different this time around. Whereas, you're talking about, oh, this is just a cool thing that I like, or, piece of merch that I like. But the bit that's then new is the combining of the culture and the item. Like the Stanley Cup.
Not the Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup sounds like the sports things. So I see people talking about golf and also ice hockey.
Ah, right, yeah. So like those cups or, Crocs or whatever, it's like that's the thing that's different. It's brand X brand rather than brand going direct to consumer.
Yeah, we're very much getting into that era of just, man, it's...
And I'm sure it's all hilarious because there's probably... like, CEOs and whatever of these brands that are like, they just don't have a fucking clue. Just got some weird young marketing people that saw Supreme when they were 16 and now have become absolute money-making gods.
That's what I think's really fun. We're like sitting down to like talk through this and like watch it happen in real time, but like, well, actually, a Magical Girl inspired transmog on the store for £25 and are doing extremely well. It's actually kind of indicative of the end of what we understand as meaning. And then someone's just like, Supreme money.